Okay, today we're going to be talking about the cosmic V web. Now the pictures that I'm showing, they're actually a video, but I couldn't use the video because then I get all kinds of legal hassles, so I'm not even going to bother. And it's going to be a short video with a couple of points, even though it should be a really long video, but I don't have a big screen, a load of people, so I can point out and fully explain what's going on. Anybody who's listening or been watching my videos will understand everything I'm about to say if you've been watching them for long enough. First thing I'm going to say off the bat here is that is the same shape as our Earth magnetic field. They haven't just mapped it all yet, and the way that I can show you this is by showing you this picture. Now, if you watched my last video, that was like the black of space. I've just whited it out so you can't see it because I'm going to put it over this picture. I mean, anybody looking at it can now kind of understand exactly what I'm going to say. The energy that's coming in from the left into the V cosmic web is coming from somewhere, the same as that field around our Earth is coming from the sun. So whether it's coming from a black hole or anything else, it is coming from the left-hand side. As we go through all these pictures, science says that energy and we are moving from right to left. This is incorrect and backwards. We are actually, energy is moving through this from left to right, but I'll get to that and show you the pictures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that picture of the Earth shield a little bigger, and then I'm going to place it directly over that picture, and basically you either believe me or you don't. So let's have a look when I make it a little larger and place it over it. Now, I know several people, especially atheists and ridiculous scientists, are going to say that's nothing like it. But it is, and I will explain how it is. You've got our bulge at the back here. Now, the great attractor, which is at the back here on the left-hand side where the bulge is, obviously you can't see it because I've just splattered it straight over the middle. But Earth is in the middle of the cosmic V-web, as they say. And I'm going to explain something about flowers in a minute. Try and follow along. I don't explain things as well as I can sometimes, but here we go. So we've got our bulging piece on the left-hand side, not the sun, but the blue piece. That is where the great attractor is. In the center is the Earth, and then we see the EM field wings shoot out, back and around, and then out to the right. But also you have the pine cone in the center, which is shooting out to the right. So when I remove this picture in a second, we should see a bulge on the left, two wings going down and to the right and up and to the right, and there should be a piece straight through the middle. So if I'm right, that's what will be underneath this picture. So let's have a look. And so at the back on the left we have the great attractor. This if anything, okay, we've got the bulge there, we have a piece going down and to the right and a piece going up and to the right, and then we have a piece right in the center going through it all. Now Earth is here, and so again it is in the middle of the EM field zone. So no matter how many magnets or huge bodies that are attracting and repulsing in this picture, the Earth is exactly in the center again. There's two inertial planes, one directly upwards and one horizontal through everything, exactly the same as that picture on the bottom left of the EM field. Now, if you remember in my last video, I overlaid a flower over the EM field of the Earth at the bottom there, and then the pine cone, and both together, both the flower and the pine cone, gives the EM field shape. Now I'm going to tell you a secret about life that has been revealed to me in the last few days. As soon as I saw this and I went through it, and God again said, remember the flower? What was important about that, Lee? Well, I overlaid the flower directly over the EM field picture at the bottom left. The Earth, here it comes. The Earth is right where all the DNA is in a flower. What does that mean? That means this is the life-giving area in a flower. It's where reproduction takes place, and it's where DNA is and where life is. So, in the EM field shape there with the flower overlaid upon it, Earth is right in the zone of life, the pollination area of a flower. And as we saw with the overlay, we have the bulge on the left, same as the EM field at the bottom, and the bulge is on the left of the cosmic V web. You've got your arm up and your arm down, and then you've got a beam shooting through the middle where we are, right in the center, exactly the same as that EM field, exactly the same as the pine cone and the flower when it was overlaid over the EM field. So again, this part of the picture here and here is where the Earth is in that EM field. So fractally, they are both the same. One is the EM field around the Earth, one is the EM field of our visible universe, so to speak. And so by overlaying the flower again, we see the beam coming in, same thing, straight through, with a pollination zone here. And so, by showing fractally a flower, the EM field, the pine cone, and now the cosmic V web, I would like to say that I have proven that energy is fractal and it always travels in the same way. Now, obviously, you're going to go, well, that's not the same as that EM field there. Well, that's the answer to that. We haven't mapped everything yet. And computers aren't very clever, so they like to melge things into each other. But that's really all I need to do. There's a pollination zone there, same as there is where our Earth is in the EM field, and the positioning of both our EM field into the cosmic V web is exactly the same. And because the flower fitted into our EM field, it also fits into the cosmic V web of everything that is visible and everything that they have mapped. Okay, hopefully that really is all I need to say about energy in the universe due to it being fractal. And so, of course, it's replicable at any size. And that's why I'm able to overlay everything over everything. So what I'm going to do now is go through a couple of their pictures. I'm going to show you my picture of magnetism, showing that energy in and energy out causes matter to go in two different directions. And then we're going to have a look at what's happening with the cosmic V web. Alright, first off, we're going to look at the web so that you can then understand what it's doing. Now, as you can see, that is shapely, the great attractor, apparently. Now, as you can see on the left-hand side, things are going into it. But if we jump to the right-hand node, you will see that everything is going into it. But one has straight lines, one has curved lines. Node on the left has straight lines in, Impulsion V. The node on the left has curved lines, Expulsion A. Alright, now let's have a look at a very simplified picture, because I'm only going to do this bit. The rest of the cosmic V web is doing this too, which means there are magnetic flows throughout this cosmic V web. Alright, so let's have a look at my picture. Okay, now this is extremely simplified to make it easy for everybody. And I'm trying to make this new magnetic video because there's quite a surprise. I may as well tell you here because I'm going to have to do like a great big video on it. I've got two inertial lines on the top picture. I've got an inertial line going upwards, and I've got an inertial line going straight through the middle, horizontal. That's because there are no poles. That's what you need to understand. The inertial line horizontal comes from the beam that passes straight through the Earth and out. The part where it spins over, you look at the bottom where it says pine cone, that's where our wave crosses over and throws up an EM field, and it's not actually a vortex. It is following an EM field line back to the North Pole on the Sun and the South Pole on the Sun. So we have two inertial lines, and it's also on a magnet, which is why you have two different fields on either side of the magnet, due to the fact that there is clockwise, counterclockwise in and clockwise out. Anyway, back to the picture. So what have I got written there? We have clockwise in, counterclockwise in and clockwise out. And I've said since the beginning, counterclockwise energy pushes matter, and clockwise energy pulls matter. So counterclockwise energy rotates matter forwards, and clockwise energy rotates matter backwards. So what do we see on the Great Attractor? We see clockwise energy going in, pushing, and outwards is, counterclockwise energy in, pushing matter in, and then it goes through the inertia line, which is that space in between. That's where it rotates and changes inflection and inversion and comes out as clockwise, which rotates matter backwards into itself. Now back to my picture. And so we see that what I said a magnet is doing, the Great Attractor is doing. It must have counterclockwise in, because counterclockwise energy pushes matter in that direction. And it must be clockwise out, because clockwise rotates matter backwards. So, as you see there, I've got the pine cone and the flower EM petals. This is the piece that is going around where the Earth is. So again, we get, it's a trident on its side. It's a flower, it's a pine cone, it's a trident, it's double helix energy flow. That's what is happening with the Great Attractor. So I don't need to do this with any more of the picture. I've put a link to the actual video of the Cosmic V-Web in the description below, so you can go and watch it yourself, and you will see that there must be several electromagnets placed within this field. And in the picture above here that you can see on the screen, these are double helix lines, which means they have clockwise and counterclockwise in them, so they are pushing and pulling in many different directions. So my basic premise of counterclockwise into a magnet and clockwise out, showing direction of force of matter, is now proven correct by the picture of the Great Attractor, which is shapely in the Cosmic V-Web. So everything I've said about energy always traveling the same is now confirmed in the Cosmic V-Web. Some people might disagree. I don't even care. Okay, now we're going to have another quick look at what else they've got, because there's a couple of interesting things. Whether or not, I'm right, that would be up to whether or not you want to believe me. Okay, now this is an area of the V Cosmic Web, and all those little spheres are planets and galaxies and blah blah blah. Only galaxies in important groups are shown as individual little spheres. See, here's what they're doing. They've made tubes. This picture is wrong. It is inflected and inverted, which means that the funnels are where the galaxies are. The funnel is not the grey bit. The funnel is where the galaxies are, because your blood flows in veins. This is exactly what's happening to the galaxies. So what we see here, where the galaxies are moving, are individual Birkeland currents all mixed together like blood vessels and blood veins. And that's what I see. And if you go to the video, it'll take you through all these, and they're all funnels and tubes created by Birkeland currents, which is double helix energy flow. This is Laniakea, the full basin of attraction of the Great Attractor, is shown as a silhouette within the V-Web. What's on top of a magnet? On the clockwise side. A great big basin of attraction. So there we go again. The Earth is right in that area, and it's acting, the Great Attractor is acting as a magnet. So again, that's a dome over a magnet. Okay, and here again is where I say they've got it ass backwards. It is seen that all global flow lines terminate at the feature called shapely. Well, they can't, because I've already shown that counterclockwise pushes and clockwise pulls. Everything isn't going back to that. Everything's coming out of that. But then again, that's all mainstream science is back asswards. Basically, they're trying to say that it's reciprocating or something, I believe, which is a pile of nonsense. Energy is coming from the left and going through to the right and out, which I have shown with double helix energy flow, flowers, the EM field, and every single thing in the universe in some video or other. So yeah, this picture is stupidly wrong in its orientation, saying that everything goes back to shapely. It doesn't. It can't. Energy's coming from left to right and out. And the main reason I say this is because out of shapely is forming the tree of life. If we follow it down and around to the right, you will see that that is the tree of life. And that is the electromagnetic flare from the shapely magnet which is curling around to meet the other side, which they haven't mapped yet. That's why it stops at the top. So basically what you're looking at is a halo wave. It comes in, it splits and goes in two different directions and then meets up on the right hand side. But they join together and then they go to the right hand side of the page. Just like flowers, just like flames, just like plasma, just like every single thing in the universe, just like water, just like smoke, there is no difference. And that's it for today. So I would recommend that you go and watch it. There's funnels and all kinds of areas that they've labeled like 5-year-olds and then proceeded to explain it all backwards. But that's mainstream science for you, and I don't hold out much hope for it at all. Alright, that's it for today. Should have been a 2-hour video, but again, you know, I can't make it too complicated. Thanks very much. My name is Lee. I follow the Christ, and I show you all the things he gets me to show you. Thanks, bye.